Welcome everyone to Emotions and I am your host, Jason, as usual. I had to make a little French there because it is what it is. But anyway, that's what I was going to say. Today's episode is going to be like a lackadaisical episode. For those people who don't know what lackadaisical is, going to be laid back. Just talk about some things that are on my mind this week. The main thing I want to talk about is parenting, because I've had multiple conversations with parents and about parents this week. And I've learned that some people, though they are financially ready, I didn't learn this, I knew this, but whatever. Some people are financially ready to take care of kids, and some people are mentally ready to take care of kids. There's a difference between being mentally and financially able to take care of kids and like little kids. Let me explain. Taking care of a toddler is a completely different ball game. Take care of a kid, which is completely different. Take care of a teenager. And I know people who are good at taking care of different levels of that. You know what I mean? Like, I know someone who take care of great with babies, terrible with young kids, and great with teenagers. Me personally, terrible with toddlers, pretty good with little kids, pretty decent with teenagers. Like, it's a weird spectrum, so it's a weird range, you know what I mean? I say this because somebody who will remain nameless, I've learned, is great with toddlers and great with teenagers, but awful with little kids. By little kid, I mean the ages of like 3/4 to, I want to say, is a good age like 6? I know. Little kids, yeah, about 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that, something around there. Let's just say 9. Let's just say 9. I know this because in the years of knowing this person, they have a kid. In the years of knowing this person, I've never actually witnessed them play with their child. Like, I've never seen it, or like spend time with them. So like the kid is acting out, being bad as shit, things like that, and I've never seen it. It's so weird. But like, I've seen the person interact with other teenagers and even babies and toddlers, but I've never seen them interact with the kid, like play and spend time, learn stuff together. And I think it's because they don't have real experience with that, so they don't know what to do. So sometimes they revert to the whole give them a phone and keep them pushing kind of type of deal. And I realize that is a shit way to raise a kid. You should never just give a kid an electronic device to raise them. And that's not like an old head mentality. That's just because like, my parents were very split. My group, my tribe of parents, if you will, were very split on things to the point where, and like, I know personal experience that like, I know I say I'm alike a lot because my brain is turning 1,000 miles a minute. But anyway, I'll try to tone those down. But anyway, yeah, what I've noticed is like when I was raised, we had my mother, who would not put you around an electronic device. She wanted you to go outside, play, interact with people, and I love that. That was great. And at home, we would play board games, play card games, very old school stuff. I had another parent, like a parental figure, whatever. They also didn't want electronic things, but they would like go to games together, be it some sporting event or something crazy like that. You know, generally having a good time, enjoying each other's company, being lovey-dovey, like just stuff like that. Bonding. That's my point I'm getting at, bonding. Because you can play games with your kids. You can grow up with electronics as long as you're with your kids, monitoring your kids. A lot of people don't do that. And like, you can do that. That's bonding. I know with my nephew, me and him played video games all the time, but we grew very close because we would talk during the games. We would come find inside jokes with the games. And my nephew's like a grown man now. He's like 20-something. And my younger nephew, he's like that too. Me and him, when we talk about video games, nerdy things, art stuff. We bond. We spend time together. And even with my friends' kids, I try to like spend some time together, because when a child is ignored or is raised by electronic device, like solely electronic device, they get disinterested in other things. They get disinterested in what you're doing. I wouldn't say disinterested in what you're doing per se, but they get disinterested in the device, not in the normal sense where like they don't want to mess with it, but in the sense that they want to spend time with you. And so a lot of times, like in the case with my friend earlier, the kid will act out, talk back, be bad, disrupt class, things like that, because they realize that when they are bad, when they act out, when they act up, it is an immediate trigger to get their parental, figure to pay attention to them. And little kids pick up patterns, just like babies, but they pick up patterns above everything else. That's why I think that the phrase, do as I say, not as I do, is kind of a dumb phrase, because kids don't work like that. Like, yes, they do listen to you, but kids will learn to be loving, respectful, kind. If they watch you be loving, respectful, kind, they learn how to interact with people by watching you. So if you don't interact with people, they won't be able to learn how to properly interact with people. Like, as an adult, you can pick and choose who you want to spend time with, who you want to engage with. Kids don't get that choice. They engage with who you want them to engage with. That's why it's important to make a kid open and open to the idea of talking to certain individuals, but being cautious of everyone. Like in the case of my friend, the kid is pretty much open up to anybody because they lack that interest from their parental unit. Their parents don't pay attention to them. So they look for other people, any friend of the family, any generally friend at all, be it adult or child. That's very dangerous, because if teenagers struggle with being accepted by strangers and new friends, kids struggle even worse because they don't have the cognitive functions to properly understand who is okay to talk to, what is okay to say, who is not okay to talk to, and what things that don't need to be divulged to other people. You know what I'm saying? They're in that development stage where kids are learning the basis of social interaction, something that they will cultivate as they get older in their teenage years. And if they don't learn the basis, it's like building a house. If they don't know the floor level, they don't know the ground plans, then you're wasting your time. Your building's going to fall apart. They're going to not, to put it in, basic terms, the kid's going to not know how to function properly. And I know this kid so far is off to a bad foot because all he does is act out. I compared it to my friend Angie, because Angie, we had a phrase. When the kid acted up recently, like the last couple of weeks, I looked at my lady and I said, Angie's kids would never. Because yes, those kids are open and they're loving and they're talkative and all that stuff, but they understand boundaries because their mother instilled those boundaries in them, taught them proper manners and all this good stuff, and taught them how to properly bond with people, because she spends a lot of time. She works a full-time job and goes to school, but she does spend her extra time with the kid. And I think a lot of people aren't ready for that. You know what I mean? They're not ready to actually give up a sizable portion of their life to their child. And what they don't realize is when you have kids, no matter how many kids you have, 1, 3, 4, 5, whatever, you are giving up a sizable amount of your time. If you're willing to actually be a parent, a full-time parent, it's like a full-time job. Like, the people who know me obviously know that I got my girl's kid. Like, he like a kid to me, saw him since he was days born, all that good stuff. I spend time with him. Like, even when I don't really feel like playing with it, it's important that kids feel connected. They feel a bond to you, especially when they're young. When they're older, they can decide whether they want you to go kick rocks or not. And a lot of kids do. At like 17, 18, when you're like a teenager one night, you tell your parents to kick rocks, you don't want to spend no time with them. Yeah, you don't like them like that. But when you're 16, 17, it's a different ballgame. You've already matured enough so you can make that rational decision. Even with your hormones bubbling, you can make that rational decision. You are capable of making certain, now follow me here, certain rational decisions. Not all rational decisions, but certain ones. But when you're a kid, you don't. You're foolish. You're pushed more by emotion and things into other people's pattern and habits. That's why they say little kids are like carbon copies of their parents, because you're loaded up already with your nature, which the parts you get from your parents immediately, like when you're born or whatever. And you're trying to learn to nurture. Meaning, like, let's say your parents have bad anger issues. You're going to be born with bad anger issues, impatience, things like that. And they have to teach you how to deal with that. They've learned that, but you haven't. Where was I? I was really interrupted by a phone call. I'm just kidding. It wasn't rude. That's my boy. But anyway. Yeah, no. See, the thing is that kids' development stages are different. They are. And every kid learns differently. Like, personally, my kid, basically, he learns through constant viewing. Like, we have these weird little trigger things, right? To where, like, if I extend my hands out, to one hand out, he runs toward me, and that means hug. And he knows I always give him a kiss on the cheek. So he'll run to me, wrap his arms around me, and tilt his head because he knows it's coming. That is a behavioral thing that he's learned. Same thing with these kids. If they learn certain things yield certain results, they'll repeat them. So when a kid does a bad thing, because he knows he'll get a response from a parent that doesn't pay attention to him, they're going to keep doing it. And why wouldn't they? They do it because they need love. They need attention. That's how kids operate. And you know what's going to happen when they do that? They will get love and they will get attention. It's clear A to B. That's all kids know. They don't know the more complex aspects. They don't know how to handle complex things like that. Most don't, except for the super geniuses. And even still, they're emotionally still developing. But anyway, not getting into that. But yeah, see, that's the thing. And I honestly believe that my friend will do better when the kid is older. The issue is that you don't always have the time to wait for your child to be older to truly teach them these things. You have to lay the groundwork. She can't wait 3, 4, 5 years to start developing a relationship with the kid. You can't do that. And you can't just react to a kid when they're bad. You have to pay attention when they're good too. You have to teach them that them doing good is the prerogative. And their bad things will yield negative responses, and their good things will yield positive responses. And the fact they will get responses either way. Because right now the kid believes that only if he talks back, only if he disobeys, only if he acts bad, only if he cries, he will get the attention from his parents. And that's messed up. Because as a developing adult, he will realize real quick, fast, in a hurry that people don't play that. And I feel for the kid because they don't deserve that. The kid does not deserve that treatment. He did not deserve that response. He doesn't. And it's honestly sad. It's truly sad. And I feel for the kid. I really do. And I'm going to try to talk to their parents, the kids' parents, because they need to understand that. Again, I never want to come across, even on this show, I'm a know-it-all, you know that. But I may not know the answer to every problem and every dilemma. But I do know unequivocally when something is wrong. When something is wrong, I know something is wrong. And I will tell you, you need to change this. Not because, he always talk about, he know better than me. Even though I've been a parent for 5 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying something clearly that everyone recognizes is wrong, and I'm doing something about it. That's the major difference. If your kid's acting out being bad, there's something wrong. So I just looked at what's going on, and I try to correct it. I just let you know, even if that's not the core root of it, even though I'm pretty sure that it is. Even if that's not the core root of it, it's still something that needs to be addressed. Because if your family and friends have never seen you interact with your child, that's a problem. Because you're teaching the kid either you're interacting with them in private or you're not doing it at all. There's a problem with that. Because you're going to tell the kid that emotions are okay as long as no one sees them. But children need to know that emotions are okay to express, especially a little boy. Because society teaches boys that emotional responses show weakness. Like, you need to have no emotion except for anger and happiness and nothing in between. Sadness is not acceptable. And that is not okay. Because I had to grow up with that. I grew up where, like, emotional expression is not a thing that we did. Like, all my parental units did not show emotions. We barely said emotions. So, like, and it stunted me for a long, long time because I thought that was normal. Even with my lady now, like, me and my sister were talking about, she was talking to her husband, I was talking to my girlfriend. They are very emotional, lovey-dovey people, and we're not used to that. So when they're all hugged up and lovey-dovey on us, we're just like, get away. Because that's not how we did things. We didn't hug 5 times a day. We didn't say I love you 7 times a day. We hugged maybe once a week. We told you I love you maybe twice a week. Because there was an understanding